king of the world.
I just try to make that shit as bass as possible. I just try to make it bass. I try to bring the heat. That's all I try to do.
A lot of criminals in the audience today. Read. Coming soon.
Hey, chill.
Keep the check. It's on the house. Really? Sure, what the hell? Different rules apply when it gets this late, you know what I mean? It's like after hours.
Hey there, friends and family. This is Dan. I'm here with the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. It is episode 92. Thank you for joining us on episode 92. It is March 15, 2026. It is Sunday morning. I'm joined here, as always, by my ordinary word processor friend and co-host, Adam.
Hey, Dan. It's great to be back here on the podcast again. I'm happy to be here with all of you people.
All of you people? Who else is here, Adam?
Oh, wow. Oh, why? We have our special guest, our war boy himself. I'm looking at a little Tyler. Hey, what's up, Tyler?
Fuck off. What's going on, guys? As Adam said, one of the war boys here. I don't know if we're ever going to do a war film again, but I think we will someday.
Yeah. Someone's going to pick something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to pick Heartbreak Ridge by Clint Eastwood.
I think we decided on Apocalypse
We
Now.
were soldiers.
We were soldiers. Yeah, we got to watch one of those Djangoistic, America the Beautiful. I think that movie ends literally with like a bunch of reporters circling around like an American flag blowing in the wind.
Yeah. Unironically, I think a good choice, maybe Three Kings. You remember that
Three
one?
Kings. Yeah, that's good. And it's weird too, like the whole way it's shot. Like I love that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of creative little shots. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard of Three Men. Three Men.
We're watching three men. It's three men and the Iraqi army coming up against three men.
Yeah.
Did you watch Black
Women Party.
What was it called? Zero Dark 30? It's like
Zero Dark 30.
Oh, yeah.
We're going after Bin Laden. And then Jim is constantly jimming the camera in that movie. He's like,
Yeah.
Jim Halpert's in that movie,
Hurt
right?
Locker. Hurt Locker could be a good one.
I don't know.
Hurt
Hurt Locker,
good.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a Best Picture winner, so that's like a very, big picture.
You guys need to stop with the pre-topics, okay? There's no pre-topics this week. We have too much to cover. I'm glad to have you on the show, Tyler. I guess we should mention, we all went to Adam's gender reveal party last night. We all found out his gender, finally.
It turns out I'm a girl. Big surprise there.
Yeah, you're expecting a little girl, Adam.
Yeah. I'm
Another
going to
member
be
of the Dan and Adam family.
I'm going to be a girl dad. Everyone kept saying that.
We just talked about Eraserhead, so just like, hey, little girl.
There's a baby at the hospital.
They don't even know if it is a baby.
Will you shut up?
Was that last week? Time seems weird now.
Time is slippery here.
All right. You've been rewatching Twin Peaks: The Return as well, you were telling me.
Yeah. I'm like trying to speed run all the things that like I won't have time to do. I'm like reading like just book after book right now. Watching Twin Peaks: The Return. Just so much porn. Like you wouldn't believe how much porn I've been watching lately.
Oh God.
No. I kid.
I bet
we don't
you'll probably be able to read still. Read. Well, we'll be following up on this. Dan and Adam are going to weather this storm, folks. We're going to keep going. We'll see. When is this going to happen? Episode 100? Is it going to thematically work out that we're going to be able to take a break for a little bit at 100?
That would be sick. Well, what episode are we? We're on like 92 now?
92 this week.
Damn,
welcome to episode 92.
Oh, I was going to say, there's a podcaster, like this guy does like a music podcast. He'll just take like months off at a time. So I think there's no shame if you guys take off a little bit of time.
No, and I'll keep going anyway because I have a side project I'm working on called The Haunted Frame. It's a working title. What do you guys think about that? The Haunted Frame.
I like it.
It's good.
It's gonna be my vehicle for doing horror and exploitation that's too much for Adam, and also covering Fulci movies. And it's not Adam's excluded. You're welcome on the show, buddy. But it's gonna be a little different. But I'm gonna use this crazy. I feel like we've developed really good skills for researching movies, and I'm gonna take that and finally use that to my advantage. It kind of brings us all the way back. Do you remember when we did Columbian Harvest, Adam? Do you remember Columbian Harvest?
Yeah, I was looking at those notes the other day, actually. It's kind of crazy.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, we could have done something with that. We never did, but here we are. Still doing it. Still here. And we watched a movie this week. What did we watch, Tyler?
We watched Martin Scorsese's 1985 After Hours.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
My name is Paul Hackett.
Come over, Paul.
What?
You didn't just say something just now?
This the guy? Who are you? You don't live here. May I enter?
I can't let you in at the moment.
I'm in SoHo. I don't know the exact location.
If you had a mohawk, you could go in.
You gotta help me.
No.
What is wrong with you? Are you all right?
Do you know what this is?
Where'd you get that?
What's with you? Are you nuts or something?
Marcy. Would you just give me a goddamn token?
No, goddammit, I cannot give you a token.
And tonight I feel like I'm gonna let loose or something. I feel like something incredible is really gonna happen here.
I mean, I just wanted to leave, maybe meet a nice girl, and now I've got to die for it?
Different rules apply when it gets this late, you know what I mean? It's like after hours.
After Hours is a 1985 American neo-noir black comedy film in the style of the Yuppie nightmare cycle of the mid-1980s. It's directed by Martin Scorsese. I don't know how to say his name. Adam, go ahead and read me the IMDb description.
Ordinary word processor Paul Hackett experiences the worst night of his life after he agrees to visit Marcy, a SoHo resident that he met that evening at a coffee shop.
What is the very worst night you ever had?
What if the date you thought would never end didn't?
When it's after midnight in New York City, you don't have to look for love, laughter, and trouble. They'll all find you.
Hey there, folks. Thanks for joining us on episode 92. Rate the podcast on Apple or Spotify. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Share it with a friend. Send it to your family. Hit the like button on YouTube. Subscribe. Drop a line. Leave a comment. Slam that notification bell. Join the Discord. Hang out and chat with us. Follow Dan's Night Out on Instagram and check out our other links in our description. Dan and Adam rely on the kindness of listeners like you, taking the time out of your day to make a difference. And our bargain remains. If you leave a review, we will read it on the show, live on air. Thank you. Now on to the program.
Yeah.
This movie, After Hours, was directed by Martin Scorsese. I wanted to talk a little bit about Martin Scorsese. Let's just start here. We got a mean list of his movies. He did 27 full-length feature narrative films. He also directed 16 full-length documentary films. I'll start with me. Let me give my Martin Scorsese history. I have not seen most of his movies. I have a personal note here on the document that says I've only seen approximately 25% of his filmography. Even if I claim that After Hours is my favorite film of his, the statement itself doesn't carry much value or weight. Kind of rings hollow, aside from being a contrarian position, because most people end up talking about Taxi Driver and Raging Bull or his mob machismo movies, Goodfellas and Casino. But that said, I haven't seen that much. I've seen After Hours. I've seen The King of Comedy. We've talked about that on this podcast. That was like episode number 2 for us. I've seen Taxi Driver. I wasn't a big fan. I saw Cape Fear at some point when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Goodfellas, obviously. And that's, some of his recent stuff. I liked Shutter Island back in the day. Wolf of Wall Street I saw in theaters. I thought The Irishman was bizarre as fuck. Haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet. I'm interested in his new movie. Now, let's start with Tyler. What's your Martin Scorsese history, bud?
Yeah, I was going through his films. Out of 27, I think I've seen probably like 14. I mean, especially like, coming from like Bringing Out the Dead. Funny enough, probably watched the first one I ever saw when I was like 10 years old. That one's like a very obscure Nicolas Cage movie, and I'm a renowned Nicolas Cage fan. From that point, I think I've seen them all except Silence. I hadn't even heard of Silence until I had been looking into him this week. I don't know, I'm definitely interested in checking out some of his older ones. I mean, I've seen, like most people, I've seen Taxi Driver, and actually I would probably put it in one of my top 10 movies. I've seen it a couple times. I feel like I saw Raging Bull a really long time ago. Beyond that, I don't know, Color of Money I haven't watched, but I know my growing up, my dad always loved that and would always quote it and stuff. So definitely have more that I want to check into. Doing this podcast.
Color of Money's with Paul Newman. Paul Newman's in Color of Money. I want to see that one because it's in this era.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam? What's your bio with Mr. Movie, Mr. Scorsese? Mr.
Scorsese. I mean, one of my favorite directors, and saying that out loud, I'm like really, like After Hours is a blind spot for me. Just as The King of Comedy was too. Like it's one of those movies that I never really heard of, and then we watched it, and it quickly became a favorite of mine. I think the first Martin Scorsese, what would be the first Scorsese film I saw? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember how to work the body.
Mine was probably Cape Fear because my mom watched it.
I think mine, and this would have been like when I was little and I didn't even really know. Yeah, Bringing Out the Dead. I think my parents rented that, and like that was I was like a little 1999. I wasn't that old, and so yeah, like I wasn't like super into it. I just remember it being like this like crazy like schizophrenic film.
Yeah, I heard this is kind of like a spiritual successor to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
A little darker, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Scorsese, I mean, Gangs of New York, Aviator, The Departed. I think when it comes down to it, starting at The Aviator, I think I've seen every one of his films that he made since then. Like I remember, it was when I had gotten out of the army, so that would have been 2011. Tyler had me watch. We watched Goodfellas together, and that was or you had recommended me to watch it, and I kept like poking my head out in my room, being like, "This movie's awesome." And
yeah,
obviously, The Irishman. I love that movie. That movie with the Killers of the Flower Moon. I saw that in a theater where me and my wife were the youngest people by like 20 years. It was just a bunch of old people watching that movie.
Bunch of old heads.
Bunch of old heads.
It's gonna be us one day.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's happening to me. I'm feeling it very. I changed my first diaper this morning, and my back still hurts.
Nice. You'll get used to it, bud.
Yeah.
I did want to just say like I said, I didn't really like Taxi Driver, but I feel like even a few years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was a lot more critical about movies, and yeah, I'd like to revisit even everything. So I never saw Hugo. You guys seen Hugo?
Yeah, we had HBO around that time, probably 2011. And I can remember it coming on one day, and I watched it. It's a fun, weird movie. I mean, it's definitely not, because it's not like straight up a family movie, but it follows like a little kid, so it is family friendly. So it's
is it animated?
Turn. No.
Okay, I always thought it was animated. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's shot in 3D.
Oh wow. Silence is known as his most Catholic film. I'm interested in checking it out.
Not The Last Temptation of Christ?
No, I want to check that. We're working towards that now, buddy. So I did want to mention his upcoming film. Obviously, What Happens at Night sounds cool to me. Has some cool people involved. It's another Apple film, Apple Original Films. American Gothic psychological horror film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, of course, one of his muses, Jennifer Lawrence, and Mads Mikkelsen. I love all those people. Filming began around February 24th of this year, pretty recently, in Czech Republic. And it's about a married American couple who visits a snowy European town to adopt. At their eerie hotel, they meet odd characters. a chanteuse, businessman, and a faith healer. Reality blurs as they pursue the baby and question their lives. Not much yet, but I'm glad he's still making movies. I hope he can finish it. I always worry, he just started. I always worry he's not going to be able to finish it, Yeah, it's very old.
Very old. Yeah, and I do like that Leonardo DiCaprio has kind of taken the place of Robert De Niro as his muse.
Yeah.
Was he not in The Departed? Because I heard people say like Killers of the Flower Moon is like, oh, he finally brought his two muses together.
Oh yeah. There's no De Niro in The Departed. That's
Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie's pretty amazing.
Departed.
You also get an N-bomb dropped within like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it is about a bunch of Irish Boston guys, so it kind of makes sense.
That's funny. I haven't seen it. Yeah, one day. No, that's it. That's Martin Scorsese as in general. He's Mr. Movie. He's It's interesting. You can tell he's Mr. Movie because culturally, if he says something about like Marvel, everyone reacts, and it's like, oh, like he's the judge, right? People consider him the judge of art movies, of movies, cinema. Yeah, absolute cinema.
I love. I love it, and like there's some commercials he's been into, which is funny to think about, like him being this auteur, this Mr. Movie, and then he was in like a MasterCard commercial where he's just like realizes that he keeps like going back and forth on purchases he has to make, and he's like, I love my MasterCard.
Yeah. I love his TikToks with his daughter.
Yeah, his like, how old is she? Like 23 or something?
I don't know. I was surprised. Like, did he have this kid when he was like, 60?
Like him, De Niro, and Pacino, they all have young. Like Pacino and De Niro just had their kids.
Oh, it's even worse for them. Yeah, they're like Marty's age right now, having kids. All right, now let's talk about in context of After Hours. I always like to do the good and the bad, and I guess in the context, it's like what's good and what's bad about him approaching After Hours. I do my best here. But Tyler, go ahead and start reading me some of the good.
All right, some of the good. The belief that every film deserves equal devotion, small budget or big budget. You ultimately have to sell the ideas, the emotions, the story, and the characters all the same. He was drawn to Paul because he is guilt-ridden for no reason. Scorsese often portrays Catholic guilt in his films. It helped him metabolize a moment where the universe seemed to be messing with him for sport. And this movie saved Scorsese's career.
And Adam, go ahead and read me the bad.
The bad. He feared he would never make a big movie again, stuck in the underworld after the King of Comedy bombed and The Last Temptation of Christ fell through. Born out of humiliation, rejection, and creative exile. And the worst of all, he had just turned 41.
The worst of all. Yes. So this is a quote from Marty. He says, I remember it was the last day of 1983. The King of Comedy had come out earlier that year, and on New Year's Eve, I was getting dressed to go to Jay Cox's house. I had the TV on in the background, and for some reason it was tuned to Entertainment Tonight. And I heard them say, as a sort of tease before they went into commercial, coming up, the movie flop of the year. So I sort of stuck around to see what it was. What was the movie flop of the year? And when they came back, they said it was The King of Comedy. I was the flop of the year. And on top of that, I had been planning to make The Last Temptation of Christ, which had just been canceled on me. So it was a double whammy. I had nothing lined up next, and I knew I was going to have to start all over. So I love Marty. That's what I was saying at the party last night. I just love the way he talks. He's very funny.
Yeah. He's a natural actor too. Like he's in most of his. He's in a lot of these things.
Did you prepare a quiz, Adam, or no?
No. Oh my God.
Okay, well let's just bring this up now then. Did you guys spot Martin Scorsese's Alfred Hitchcock cameo in the movie?
It's cheating because I read about it and I was surprised.
I didn't read. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and reveal it to Tyler.
No, yeah. So he played. So the punk rock club that Paul goes to?
Yeah.
Like there's a guy up there at the top with like a searchlight, and he's shining it down on the dancers. And that's
he's like up on the
him.
catwalk.
That's Scorsese.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's so out of place though. He's like Mario Bava. I don't know. He's just like he's even old then. You just see his giant eyebrows. Like, what is he doing at this punk club?
It's so crazy because I noticed that guy too, but I didn't clock it as Scorsese.
Oh yeah, he sticks out. That's for sure. You kind of notice him if you Tyler just watched it for the first time. This is probably my third, fourth time through. Let's talk about the screenplay. It was done by Joseph Minion. Also did Vampire's Kiss. I noted that. I didn't know you were going to come on the show, but you like Vampire's Kiss, right, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean that was a very memeable movie, and probably right around like, I don't know, 2011, 2012. That's me and my buddy Sean watched it because it was so heavily memed on the internet. But actually, it's a really weird, bizarre film, very similar to this, because it's based in New York City. It's kind of just following a guy crashing out. I mean, granted, it's not like the for people who don't know about it, Nicolas Cage just plays a guy who has like this encounter with a vampire, and well, you're kind of not sure if it's real or not, because then throughout the movie he's like convinced that he is becoming a vampire. And I mean, this is like a very prime example of Nicolas Cage doing his overacting and just crashing out.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I would say, I mean, it's not an amazing movie. It wouldn't really be an interesting podcast choice or anything, but it's so absurd. I think, you got to watch it sometime. It's fun.
Well, does it feel like After Hours?
In some ways, yeah, because there's a lot of like street scenes. Nicolas Cage just kind of like running through the streets. Yeah, I mean, it's very, like I know you said something before on the Discord of like this being like a proto Safdie brother movie,
Yeah,
so I would say
like after like a Good Time is a big one.
Has a similar feel of that, just like a guy crashing out, as the kids would say these days.
Reason I ask is because it's very interesting. There's a backstory to all this. I'm going to say alleged up front in Minecraft, so I don't get sued or whatever. But his script was, he wrote it as a thesis for Columbia Film School. He got an A from his teacher, who ended up being Yugoslavian director Dusan Magajevic. I don't know how to say that name. After Hours has one of the strangest and most quietly buried origin stories of any Scorsese film. The screenplay by 24-year-old Columbia graduate Joseph Minion was heavily inspired by, and in several places directly lifted from, Joe Frank's 1982 radio monologue titled Lies. Frank's piece aired on NPR affiliate KCRW and featured a lonely man drifting through a surreal, late-night odyssey full of bizarre encounters, emotional volatility, and escalating misfortune. Adam, go ahead and read me some of the several key beats from Lies that appear verbatim in Minion's script.
Yeah, because verbatim you have appearing the chance meeting with a mysterious woman, the late night phone call, the plaster of Paris bagel and cream cheese paperweights, the cab ride where the protagonist's only money flies out the window, the unstable friend in the apartment, the sense of being pulled into someone else's chaos, and essentially the first act of the film.
The overlap was so substantial that Joe Frank was reportedly paid a large settlement by the production and agreed not to discuss it publicly. He later alluded to this in a Salon interview, describing a Hollywood film that had brazenly plagiarized his work, widely understood to be After Hours. Adding to the strangeness, the actor who played the cabbie, Larry Block, the guy who's, I guess, the only cab driver in the movie, he's directly linked to Joe Frank's radio monologue show in KCRW. Now, was he hired on as an olive branch to Joe Frank? Or is this just another After Hours-esque coincidence? But he did receive the script under the title Lies, Scorsese did, and he said he had no idea it was, derived from Frank's monologue. And important to note, Joseph Minion didn't do much after this film. We mentioned Vampire's Kiss, but there's really not much else This scandal may have destroyed his reputation and his career, allegedly in Minecraft. And Scorsese and the producers After Hours never worked with him again. As we talked about on the podcast, that's kind of rare, right? You usually keep people around. You work with them once or twice. You never worked with these guys ever again. But yeah, I don't know. Not good. Not good to come in being like, oh, uh-oh. Like, how much money would that have potentially costed them? Probably a decent amount. But
Oh, yeah. Could have bankrupted the whole studio.
fuck. But cinematography, we'll move on. The next guy is Michael Bauhaus. I think he's like a German guy or something. I'm not sure, but he did films with Rainer Werner Fassbinder. So if you know anything about Fassbinder, I have seen World on a Wire. It's kind of like a Glitch in the Matrix simulation theory movie. It's really good and interesting. Good pick, but it is like 3 hours long or more. It might be like 4 hours long. It's really long. The Color of Money. So this guy helped do The Color of Money after this movie. Something called Broadcast News. I don't know. Last Temptation of Christ, Goodfellas, Age of Innocence. That's a Scorsese movie I've never heard of. And Wild Wild West. Just like to bring that one up. And Legend of Bagger Vance.
And this guy had a lot of Will Smith love.
Oh yeah, it's true. That's two Will Smith back to back. Uptown Girls, Departed. I don't know. I guess you guys love Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I do. I saw that recently, actually. And he also did
new one.
Looks like he also did Sleepers. Have either of you guys seen Sleepers?
No.
It's just about a movie where these young kids get sent to like they accidentally kill somebody, like trying to play a prank, and they end up getting sent to like what is it called? Like, it's not like kids prison, but like juvenile hall. And
I remember this one.
Yeah, like they undergo a lot of like abuse and sexual abuse by the guards, and they end up taking out their revenge later as adults.
De Niro's
Oh
in
yeah,
this.
I think I watched this a long time ago.
Oh, Brad Renfro's in this. Oh shit. Speaking of bully.
Yeah, this has a whole gang of people.
Connection. All right. And edited by Thelma Schoonmaker. Do you guys know who she is?
No.
She has edited most, if not all, of Scorsese's movies. Super important to Scorsese's career. She gets interviewed a lot. She's on the interview extras for this movie. Not much to say. Music composed by Howard Shore. Do you guys know who Howard Shore is or no?
I mean, I'm seeing here he worked on a few movies that I've seen, like
a few movies,
just a couple.
Yeah.
Oh God, this guy's list is. Man, he was on Lord of the Rings. Okay, so this guy's like, and The Cell. We did The Cell on this podcast.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He's prolific as fuck. He's one of the best like composers ever. Scanners, Videodrome, The Fly, The Brood, I Miss You, Hugs and Kisses, a fucking Video Nasty, Dead Ringers, Silence of the Lambs, Single White Female, which is about to get a remake, Naked Lunch, Miss Doubtfire, Ed Wood, Seven, Crash, Striptease, The Game, Dogma, Existence. Jesus. But yeah, all the Lord of the Rings. That's crazy, right? Twilight Saga, Eclipse. I don't remember Eclipse looking particularly good, but I guess so. A lot of movies we're going to be talking about on this podcast. We'll talk more about Howard Shore, but I don't know. This score was awesome. I don't know if you guys like paid attention to it or, it's a really good score, and it almost sounds like Giallo-esque sometimes. Like it sounds like a 80s Italian score. Like it's very inspired and cool. It's one that actually sticks out. That's rare, in my opinion, and you don't get it anymore, but in the 80s it was more common where you got these, you want to listen to a score from the 80s. People still listen to scores from the 80s. People aren't listening to like 2020 scores as much.
No, yeah, not unless it's Eddington, the score for Eddington. I'll listen to that.
Yeah. Ari Aster has some good score. Like Midsummer is a great one. Mm-hmm. But anyway, producers, important to note, Amy Robinson and Griffin Dunne. They are part of Double Play and Triple Play. Adam and I have a lost episode about Chilly Scenes of Winter. Adam was just like, man, it's okay. And I was like, you bastard. It's one of the best movies of all time. It stars John Hurd. We'll get into that later. But important Double Play and Triple Play. It's going to come up. But that's Amy Robinson and Griffin Dunne. They're just producer partners. in the late 70s, they just got tired of having to like wait around to get roles. So they're like, let's just start producing our own movies, which is very Dan and Adam inspired. And they worked on a bunch of movies. You're going to hear about them a lot. Baby, It's You, Running on Empty, Game 6. But they produced a bunch of shit. And then you had Robert Colesbury, K-Pax, Scarlet Letter. Saw this shit in school. Deborah Schindler, Mona Lisa Smile, Little Black Book. she's got a very specific style. I like all those movies on that list.
How Stella got her groove back.
Yeah, Waiting to Exhale. I saw that like on TV always. That was always on TV at some point in the 2000s. Production companies, Double Play, like I was saying, that's basically Griffin Dunne and Amy Robinson together. I don't know. Distributed by the Geffen Company. They're kind of like a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, so big company is producing this movie. We had them also do Risky Business, Little Shop of Horrors, Beetlejuice, Last Boy Scout, and Butterfly. Interview with a Vampire, one of Adam's favorites. Joe's Apartment. I would love to do Joe's Apartment, but it's just so stupid. Beavis and Butthead Do America. Haven't seen it. And the most recently, Beetlejuice. R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. We'll get to it. This was shot on 35 millimeter with Arriflex cameras and lenses. Pretty standard for the time. Mastered via photochemical intermediate. So, I don't know, man. It's like hard to put these together. Struck to 35 millimeter. Typical. Tyler, go ahead and read me the shooting dates. How long was this shot for?
The shooting for this took place July 9th, 1984 to September 3rd, 1984. So less than 2 months. Not very long.
That's important to note too. So we were saying like his projects had fallen through. I guess some context here, right? I didn't put any of this really in the document, but they canceled The Last Temptation of Christ for political reasons. They're like, this ain't gonna fly, and so he was in a place of distress and he didn't know what he was gonna do, and he's like, can I even make movies anymore? Because all these productions he had been doing, like King of Comedy, had taken like 100-something days or something. Like he's like 150-day shoot. It was standard for me. He's like, I didn't know if I could go back and do a 45-day shoot, or a 50-day shoot or whatever. And this movie was like a big part of him rediscovering his love for filmmaking. And if this movie didn't happen, I don't think we get everything else later. He could have burned out here. Many of directors have.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, this feels very personal.
Yeah, I mean, you could say this is his most spiritual film. Haha. If anybody throw back to last episode, but I'm really glad, Scorsese got to do this because, I mean, you look at his filmography. This is so early on. This is still early on to like when he'd only done like what 7 films before this. He still had so much more left in the tank.
Yeah. I heard something this week where people talk about Quentin Tarantino. Everyone likes to bag on him now, and I will kind of bag on him right now on the show. Where he's like, I'm only going to do 10 movies, then I'm done. And then he still hasn't made his 10th movie, and it's like, Scorsese's like, I wish I could make more movies. I'm going to be dead soon.
Yeah. He's a true lover of film.
That's true. Filming locations. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a look at a picture of New York or understand the geography. I hadn't. I didn't realize it was so close to New Jersey. And I don't know. I also didn't notice like it is like a GTA map.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But that's where this all took place, is in SoHo. Took place in... Did you guys know what SoHo stood for?
No.
South of Houston Street. It's Lower Manhattan, known for homing many artists' lofts and art galleries. It was kind of lower class and like scary in the 80s. Today, if you go to SoHo, it's like $100,000 apartments or some shit.
Yeah, it's where all like the chic little shops are.
Yeah, you would. I mean, maybe you'd be able to walk home in that case. So just quickly, we have some stuff. It was there's not much to mention really here. There is the Metropolitan Life Tower. I guess that's where the iron gates are outside of Paul's workplace. I don't know what to make of the giant golden gates, but maybe we can talk about that. The terminal bar scene was Emerald Pub. This was closed in 2015. RIP. And the subway scene was Spring Street Station. We did have the diner scene that took place at Moondance Diner. Moondance Diner has some history, Adam. You want to read me some of that history?
Yeah, so here we go. Monica. Everybody knows Monica, right? From Friends. This is where she worked. Sex and the City shot scenes here. In Spider-Man, Mary Jane Watson works here. And that's little Kirsten Dunst. Miami Vice shot scenes here. Reading Rainbow shot scenes here. And Jonathan Larson's time working at the diner is portrayed in his musical Tick, Tick, Boom, and in its 2021 film adaptation. Now, that's a lost episode, right, Dan?
No, I think we can put that one out, potentially. We'll see. But that, that was the drop. That was the whole reason I had to read that.
Nice.
Yeah, Tick, Tick, Boom.
It's a shame my wife, she fell asleep while we were watching this movie, which is, it's bound to happen. And we watched this pretty late. Like, we were waiting to pick up a friend from the airport. And so I was like, hey, why don't we watch my movie? We have like 3 hours. And I think she would have liked that had she seen it.
That's the
Moondance
one
Diner
with
is awesome.
Andrew Garfield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that. Just kind of forgot about it.
He sings in that movie.
It worked perfectly because that movie's about him being like, I'm turning 30, and I was turning 30 when we watched it and talked about it. Hopefully I can put that one out. We'll see.
39 to 30 to 39. I wanted for the podcast, I wish we would have done it, had a bunch of musical scenes in the podcast, but we
weren't there yet.
We're not there yet. We weren't there yet.
We're still not there. We're getting there. Tyler, go ahead and read me that big, beautiful aspect ratio.
Aspect ratio for this film is 185.1.
Yep, pretty standard. I'm not gonna trash Martin Scorsese. It's fine. Runtime 97 minutes. This was an hour and 37 minutes. How'd you guys feel about that runtime?
Good. I mean, while watching it, I felt like I was a little bummed. I was like, I wish it was a little longer. I was having a lot of fun, but for something like this that you say is a comedy, it's pretty standard.
Yeah, standard hour and a half comedy film. And like I said, yeah, like it could have been longer because I think it would have even it did not feel, it didn't feel long at all. I was just like on the edge of my seat the whole time because I was like, this is what's going to happen next.
Well, the original cut of After Hours was approximately 45 minutes longer.
Oh.
So there's definitely a lot more. Some of the deleted scenes I watched, I think there's like 7 of them on the Blu-ray, were pretty cool. There's one where Catherine O'Hara is really unhinged when they're walking up to her apartment. And he almost leaves at one point because she's just screaming at him. And people are like looking out of the apartment doors, be like, what the fuck? I recommend checking those out. Yeah, this had a release on September 13, 1985. So, Friday the 13th. We just had a Friday the 13th the other day, which I thought was thematically kind of fun that we're talking about it. Another movie that released September 13, 1985. Scorsese noted it released on Friday the 13th. And, had some more rollouts from there. The really only thing to mention is like May 12, 1986. The following year, he had it screened at the Cannes Film Festival in France. And he won Best Director that year. That's pretty cool. To talk about the culture and the era of the time, we had a mix of prestige dramas, mid-budget studio curios and comedies, as well as a handful of oddball international releases, all jockeying for attention in the quiet lull between summer blockbusters and the fall award season. Kind of give you an idea, we're about to, I think the Oscars are tonight, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what. Oscars the following year, 86 that this movie would have been available for was what had won was Out of Africa by Sidney Pollack, which is a PG-rated American epic drama romantic film about 20th century colonial Kenya. A Danish baroness plantation owner has a passionate love affair with a free-spirited big game hunter. Isn't that like... That was what was winning at the time. It's like straight up Oscar bait. I haven't seen it, but I doubt it's that good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sounds like a weak time for. I mean, honestly, when I don't think of a lot of great movies when I think about the mid '80s. I mean, of course, you had some of the blockbusters like Back from the Future and shit like that.
That's important to mention. Yeah, I was talking to you last night about that. Important to note. I don't have it noted here anywhere, but you should just imagine Back to the Future playing all year and dominating every theater in 1985. It was giant. It was huge. Movies stayed in theaters for a long time when they were that successful, and Back to the Future is one of the most successful movies of all time.
Yeah, it's so crazy now. If you get a successful film now, you want to get that on streaming at home pretty quickly, right? Like, because that's where you're going to make a lot of money, probably.
Mm-hmm. It depends. They try to keep it in theaters as long as they can, like Sinners and stuff. They try. They just can't do it. Now, we don't need to mention all these movies here. I'd be curious if any of you guys recognize them. Agnes of God. One I did love is Invasion USA, right up my alley, directed by Joseph Zito. He did a slasher movie called The Prowler. Stars Chuck Norris, Richard Lynch. A one-man army comes to the rescue when the United States is invaded by communists.
Oh, no.
That's awesome. I love that. Something called The Journey of Natty Gann. Have you guys heard of Natty Gann? It's a Disney movie.
No.
I was wondering. This seems like more your guys' era than mine. Like maybe you would have seen some of these. I haven't really heard of any of these movies. I've heard of Ran because it's directed by Akira Kurosawa, about medieval Japan, elderly warlords, and corruption of power and shit. They did win Best Costume Design at the Oscars the following year. But have you guys seen any of this shit?
Honestly, I don't even know if I've heard of a single one of these. I mean, I was born in 1990, so yeah, none of these are like big movies. So yeah, it doesn't really make sense how I would hear them.
Damn.
Yeah, this is a blind spot for me.
I don't know if you guys want to look up the poster for Codename Emerald, but it was fucking insane. I should have included it. The only one to really mention here that's important is like Mishima, another Paul Schrader movie going unappreciated. He made less than $1 million on it, but like people talk about Mishima all the time now. Fictionalized account in 4 chapters of the life of celebrated Japanese writer Yukio Mishima. I believe that guy committed harakiri or some shit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being racist and weird, but I think that's what happens. I would like to see it. It's been recommended to me many times. It's a Criterion movie. This movie had a budget of $4.5 million. Decent budget for 1985. Mid-budget. Had a weekend box office of 45,000, one theater. So not the best, but over time it ended up making $10 million worldwide to this day. So it definitely made its money back and was successful for Marty. Let's talk about the cast a little bit before we get into the movie proper. We have Griffin Dunne, my boy. I love Griffin Dunne. He plays Paul Hackett. He was also in Chilly Scenes of Winter. I want to bring this up. It is a lost episode, so you won't hear it. But in that movie, we talked about how at one point Griffin Dunne shows up. I don't know if you remember this, Adam, but they're at the hospital because John Hurt's mom is like hurt herself or tried to commit suicide, and then the stepdad's there, and he leaves with the stepdad, and I think they sing Blue Moon. And then Griffin Dunne shows up at some point, and I was like, "Oh, it must be a reference to All American Werewolf in London." Griffin Dunne plays like John Hurd's sister's boyfriend that shows up randomly in that movie, and I was like, "Oh, it has to be a reference to American Werewolf." American Werewolf hadn't even come out yet. What a weird connection.
Yeah.
It was weird. But anyway, Chilly Scenes of Winter, one of the best movies of all time. Check it out. American Werewolf in London, one of the best movies ever. Check it out. Amazon Women on the Moon, one of the best comedy anthologies from the 80s I've seen. Check it out. That was that's where you remember we watched the parody of Siskel and Ebert about that guy's life?
Yeah.
That's Amazon Women on the Moon, which also stars Rosanna Arquette and Griffin Dunne's in it. He's really funny. That's really it. I didn't want to mention Lip Service, directed by William H. Macy. And he's also in Hotel Room, the TV show created by David Lynch and Mark Frost post Twin Peaks. I guess there is more. Stuck on You, which is that ridiculous movie. You guys remember Stuck on You?
Oh yeah,
man.
2003. I saw that in theater.
That movie is art, pure art.
I would watch it again. I don't care.
I would too, for Griffin Dunne, especially. Dallas Buyers Club and Caught Stealing most recently. I definitely want to see Caught Stealing by Aronofsky because, like, hell yeah.
I watched it. It was on Netflix for a bit, I think. Yeah, it was all right. I didn't love it.
Do you remember Griffin Dunne?
Honestly, I don't. And I mean, well, one thing I was going to say, like, watching this, I was like, wow, if you just showed me a picture of this guy, I would not have recognized him. I mean, I've never seen American Werewolf in London. Granted, when I went through his whole, I've never seen it. I went through his whole filmography. I've seen a couple films, but it was kind of like a nice little surprise. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is at all. He's the main character in this, so it was kind of like going into a world I'd never, been a part of.
I need you to carve out time in October to join us for American Werewolf in London, Tyler.
Yeah, I will. Maybe I guess I'll wait to watch it because I was already thinking, like, I was like, damn, I want to watch this now because I just.
You can watch it now. You can watch it now too. It'd be good if you watch it now and watch it later.
I have seen an American Werewolf in Paris.
Nice. Whoa. Yeah. I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, I watched that back, like, probably with our older brother Lance in, like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s.
They had Bush in the soundtrack. That was my big draw to it at the time.
I thought you were just going to say it has Bush in it.
It's got full frontal. And since we're talking about the cast, I would want my wife, something that she, like, noticed immediately, and then, like, I noticed it too. This guy, Griffin Dunne, like, if you compare him to, like, movie stars nowadays, his face in this movie is completely anathema, right? I mean, the guy has a unibrow. He has, and nobody in this movie has veneers. Everybody in this movie has their
his
real
teeth don't look good either. Yeah,
and it's just like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I think it's amazing to watch a movie from this time, this era, and be like, wow, everyone looks like normal people.
Yeah, John Hurd. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. John Hurd, very normal man, normal guy. He could just play Guy in a movie, and he would be perfect for it.
That's a great point. I missed that for sure. Now you just have Glenn Powell being like, I'm angry, and I'm going to tell you I'm angry the whole movie.
Yeah. You're the angriest man we've ever met, while he's like smiling.
I'm having a great day. Go ahead and read me something about Rosanna Arquette, Adam.
Yeah, Rosanna Arquette. She plays Marcy Franklin, and let's see. I'm gonna look through about what movies have I seen with her in it. And of course, she's in Pulp Fiction. She's in Crash. She's in Buffalo 66, but I don't think she's not in the I forget. I don't remember. I've seen that movie, but
it's a Vincent Gallo movie.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I've seen Brown Bunny. I haven't seen Buffalo 66. She's in Joe Dirt, The Whole Nine Yards, and yeah, I think that's like those are the movies that I've seen her in. But let's see right here. I like this. She was in Desperately Seeking Susan in 1985. That movie co-stars Madonna, greatest actress of our time, really. No, she's a horrible actor. I think Madonna's a terrible actress. Like, sorry, I'm going to say it. She won a BAFTA award for that movie for Best Actress in Supporting Role. And in an interview at the time, Arquette said, the two questions I hate the most are, what is it like working with Madonna? And are you the Rosanna in the song Rosanna? That's funny.
Rosanna. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I really like Rosanna Arquette in this movie. She's really, she plays such a type of character in this movie. Like maybe a woman that I've like dated before where they're just a little bit, she has that such a mysterious, Soho girl edge to her in this movie.
Yeah, she's like an OG manic pixie dream girl kind of in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, she's beautiful in this. I would have definitely risked it all if I was single guy in New York.
Oh yeah, I'm picking up the phone and dialing that number and going like, where does it, and like, I forget, like, in conjunction, where does Paul live? Like, he's like on the upper.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let me. I have to go all the way down. He's like 5 miles away, basically. He'd have to walk 5 miles.
An hour
home.
in New York.
It would have taken Paul 2 hours to walk home, assuming he hits all the cross streets at the correct time to cross and doesn't get into any trouble. The distance from Kiki's SoHo loft, 28 Howard Street near the corner of Crosby, to Paul's uptown apartment on East 91st Street is about 5 miles, 8 kilometers. But would he have gotten mugged? The only thing I want to mention about Rosanna Arquette is she was recently in The Moment, which is that new Charlie XCX kind of mockumentary. It was really good. And in it, she's really funny because she comes in at one point. There's like a whole plot scene where like they sell Charlie XCX on a credit card for the Brat Tour. They're like, yeah, we're selling it to gay, your fans, queer fans. It's for queer people. And I guess they all sign up and default on them. And Rosanna Arquette breaks in at one point because she's like the manager of whatever company is producing everything. She's like, these gay little criminals. It's so funny. I wish I had sampled that, but I didn't. But yeah, she's great. Rosanna Arquette, last thing to mention, she was recently in the news. Did you guys hear the Quentin Tarantino stuff or no?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
So he was in hot water recently, not only because he was trashing Paul Dano, Owen Wilson, Matthew
Jesus
Lillard.
Christ. He went after Owen Wilson?
Yeah. Everybody, yeah. Wow. So she came out recently. She was in Pulp Fiction, like you're saying. She said, personally, I'm over the use of the slur, the N-word. I hate it. I cannot stand that Tarantino has been given a hall pass. She said, it's not art. It's just racist and creepy. And then he shot back really quickly and he said, I hope the publicity you're getting from 132 different media outlets writing your name and printing your picture was worth disrespecting me in a film I quite remember you clearly were thrilled to be a part of.
That's a nice...
good Tarantino impression.
I don't know. Fuck Tarantino. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I made that clear to Adam this week.
Well, and I want to be the voice of what is it when you're the voice of the opposing, where I'm like, at the same time, there's a lot of art that I imbibe.
Devil's advocate?
Yeah, devil's advocate. There's a lot of art that I imbibe that has like the use of slurs and like, because there's characters using those slurs. So, I mean, is it a bit weird that a lot of Tarantino films include like gratuitous uses of the N-word?
Well, he uses it too. He's the one who cast himself to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, but isn't that like a superpower you want to be like? I would absolutely cast myself to use. I guess I'll call it the R slur, even though IRL I would just drop that in a heartbeat. But you know, we're here in a professional setting. I don't know. I guess there's just a part of me that's like, okay, like I get, like, is it just a little bit of virtue signaling when like these white Hollywood actors are like,
it is.
I don't think that this word is good, and they're supposed to like rise up with a halo behind them.
I agree with you, but I think you got to take it with context. Like, I think it's ridiculous for Quentin Tarantino to say shit about any of this. He's like, "Oh, you're criticizing me, bro? You were just in hot water for criticizing other actors. Shut the fuck up. You have no room to talk." Number two. She's been known for being very like open. She's like the best old white lady I've ever seen. She's come out before and been like, I'm so guilty of my whiteness. And people like bullied her and shit. And I don't know. I think if we had more of that, the world would be a little bit of a better place, even though it's cringe. So I don't know. I just don't like that Quentin Tarantino's attacking her. I don't know. He's a little too close to Weinstein for me. I'm like, how close was he to Harvey? He uses weird abusive language. That's all I'll say. Sorry,
yeah, I
love your movies, but
at least
allegedly in Minecraft. All right, let's move on.
Oh, hey, one last thing, Rosanna Arquette. Because I saw Dracula a few weeks ago, and her daughter, Zoe Blue, was in it, one of the main characters, and I just posted a picture. Her daughter, beautiful as she is too.
Wow, so, I didn't know that. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Important to note, Rosanna Arquette, beautiful in this movie. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know she had a daughter. That's always, it's funny because you see Reese Witherspoon's daughter and you're like, oh, that's definitely her daughter. But yeah, you don't really hear about all of them. But they're out there. There's lots of The entire generation of people we talk about and obsess over, they have kids. Last thing to mention on her real quick, I guess, is she was in 8 Million Ways to Die, which was director Hal Ashby's final film in a movie I want to check out. Tyler, go ahead and read me a bit about Verna Bloom.
All right. Verna Bloom is June in this. She is the third build, but she does not appear until about the hour 23 mark. So she's really only in the last 10, maybe 15 minutes. Some of her flicks were early one, Medium Cool. Haven't heard about that. Going through the list here, a very obvious one, Animal House, John Landis. She was in that. I've seen that, but I can't recall who her character would have been. And then after this, she joined Scorsese in The Last Temptation of Christ as well. And she recently passed away January 9th, 2019, 80 years old, very old. So it looks like not a very like high profile actress, but she had a couple of big movies there.
Yeah, she's third build, right? It's strange. She's worked with Scorsese before.
Yeah. She plays a big role in the movie when you think about it at the end. But it is kind of weird.
We'll talk a little bit about that. There's some crazy stuff. There's a movie here called Where All the People Have Gone from 1974. A strange series of solar flares proves fatal for inhabitants of Earth, except for a fortunate few who are somehow immune from the effects. Animals go insane. Human beings turn into white powder, leaving behind only empty clothing. A handful of survivors attempt to rebuild their lives on the depopulated Earth. And Sarah T., Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic, which is just iconic if you know what it is. We have Linda Fiorentino as Kiki Bridges. Something about that name, right? Keys. She tosses keys. Kiki Bridges. She's a bridge between Paul crossing the threshold into Marcy's life and into the hell nightmare world.
No, look at you.
Interesting. Last Seduction, Vision Quest, Men in Black. I kind of remember her from Men in Black.
Yeah, she was like the doctor, right?
She's one of the main characters.
She was big. I remember her face. That's the only thing I remember her from. Good movie.
Did you ever see? Either you guys ever see Dogma? She was in that.
No.
Yeah, she's the main character in Dogma. She does great. I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Huh.
She's never been like well respected or well known, but she did win some awards for The Last Seduction, which is pretty cool. She was approached by Tom Cruise and director Tony Scott for a showcase role as a military flight instructor in Top Gun, but she objected to the pro-military stance of the project and declined.
Nice.
After Hours, her career went into free fall. She was almost saved by Paul Verhoeven, who invited her to star in an erotically charged movie, Basic Instinct. Great movie. Verhoeven wanted her for a small role, but she pushed for the Sharon Stone lead role. Verhoeven rebuked her, informing her that her breasts were too small.
Your breasts are too small.
That's so funny. She's noted for raven hair, intense gaze, and low voice. Sorry, I cut Tyler off. I don't mean to, Tyler. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying anything. You're good.
Whatever, I like her a lot. I think she's a real good part of this movie. I don't know who's next. Who didn't read? Whoever's next, read Terry Garr.
I'll go ahead and take it. Terry Garr as Julie. I think, okay, seeing her face, it's one of those faces where you just recognize it. And even if you can't think of it, Young Frankenstein, who does she play? I need to see who she plays in that though.
She plays the love interest.
Oh yeah, she's the one.
So, dude, she's
the one that asks if you want to take a roll in the hay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Dan. So this is one of the first movies I watched where Dan felt weird.
He felt kind of funny. Yeah.
I was like, So she's part of my sexual awakening, Terry Garr.
Which we're going to examine right now. Dan, she was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. She was in
You're skipping over the one right before that.
Oh, God. Oh, I mean, Oh, God.
She was in Oh, God. She's the wife in Oh, God.
Yeah, she's the wife. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. She was in Dumb and Dumber. Who does she play in Dumb and Dumber? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, that's right. She's like Mary Swanson's mother, right?
Yeah, Mary's stepmother. Okay, I remember now.
Mary Swammy Samsonite. I was way off.
Samsonite. I never got that joke because Samsonite is like a type of suitcase.
Yeah.
And I never got that joke until like a while back. I saw a Samsonite suitcase. I was like, oh, Samsonite.
Oh, it's the suitcase. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah, she was in Mr. Mom. She was in Dick. We can all use a little dick, and that's obvious. That's the fucking.
That's about like two teenage girls. I think Michelle Williams is the other girl, and they're like, we got hired to hang out with Richard Nixon during the Watergate scandal.
Yeah. Dan Hedaya plays Richard Nixon in that. Great. Terry Garr. Yeah, she's known for her comedic roles in television and film in the 1970s and the 80s, often playing women who struggle to cope with the life-changing experiences of their husbands.
Oh, God.
She sadly passed away on October 29th, 2024 at 79 years old. Rip to a legend. And we all need to rewatch Young Frankenstein.
It's true.
Wow, very prolific. Looking at her list.
I'm saving John Hurd for me, but I do love Terry Garr. She passed away recently. I still need to rewatch fucking Young Frankenstein. Holy shit. John Hurd is Tom Shore, or Tom the Bartender. My boy, one of my favorite actors of all time. He didn't do much, but what he did was amazing. Chili Scene's a winner. Again, check it out. Cutter's Way, Cat People, Chud, Big, Beaches, Mind Walk, Home Alone. He's the dad in Home Alone, folks. Awakenings, Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, Snake Eyes, White Chicks. This guy was in fucking White Chicks. What a fucking player, dude.
Yeah.
Chum Scrubber for your wife. Sharknado from 2013. Look at this guy. This guy's amazing. In 2008, Hurd stated, I guess I went from being a young leading man to being just kind of a hack actor. When I came to Hollywood, I was pretty much a stage actor and expected everybody to be quiet. And they weren't. They were doing their job, and you're expected to do your job, and you're sort of on this ongoing coexistence. I was a little bit of an arrogant jerk. Now it's a little bit more like, okay, I realize you have to pat me down with powder every 3 seconds, and I stand there, and I'm a little bit more tolerant. I think I had my time. I dropped the ball, as my father would say. I think I could have done more with my career than I did, and I sort of got sidetracked. But that's okay. That's all right. That's the way it is. No sour grapes. I mean, I don't have any regrets, except that I could have played some bigger parts. Passed away on July 21st, 2017, at 71 years old. R.I.P. to another legend. We miss you, John Hurd. Love you, bud. I think he's amazing in this role. We'll talk about him. Also stars Cheech Marin and Thomas Chong as Neil and Pepe.
It's funny to see him billed as Thomas Chong.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who they are, guy. You know who fucking Cheech and Chong are. We don't need to talk about them. Catherine O'Hara. I'm saving this one for Adam. I'm giving Adam Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara as Gail started her career in comedy as a cast member of The Second City in her hometown in 1974. Later, she performed regularly on Second City TV, often Eugene Levy. We mentioned Beetlejuice earlier. Well, she was in the original Beetlejuice and in Beetlejuice, along with John Hurd. She's in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. She plays Kevin, his mom. She was in The Nightmare Before Christmas, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, Game 6, Monster House, The House is a Monster. And as I said, Beetlejuice. She's also acclaimed for her performance on Schitt's Creek, one of my wife's favorite shows. I like that show. It's good. I mean, it starts off like, oh, look at these awful people and like their inability to handle things. And it turns into like Hopecore, a show where every like scene ends with people smiling and happy, which, I mean, there's a place for that, right? For that type of fantasy. And she passed away very recently on January 30th, 2026 at 71 years old. Rip to legend after legend on this pod.
I just try to make that shit as base as possible. I just try to make it base. I try to bring the heat. That's all. I just try to.
Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd appear briefly in the same scene. They would be cast together a few years later as the parents in Home Alone. Yeah, you see that when they talk briefly when she's ratting him out to John Hurd's character. He's like, he's right over there.
I love that scene. Yeah, he just like flips just like that.
I know. I was like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, she's great, dude. R.I.P. She did pass away recently. I want to see Best in Show. That's supposed to be a really good. That and Waiting for Guffman. I gotta check those out.
Yeah.
Dick Miller is the next one. You want to read me a little bit about Dick Miller, Tyler?
Yeah, Dick Miller plays Pete. He's the diner waiter in one of the scenes. He's an iconic character actor. He's appeared in more than 180 films.
Whoa!
So yeah, this is definitely a guy. Even if you don't know his name, which I don't think I did know his name, I've seen him in dozens of movies. One notable one, New York, 1977, one of Martin Scorsese's films. He was in the Twilight Zone movie, Gremlins, Terminator. Let's see.
And
Small
Gremlins
Soldiers,
too.
1988. I love
Small Soldiers is so fucking good.
Small Soldiers is amazing.
I gotta watch that again. I love that movie.
We got to
That's
do
one
that
of
on
those,
the pod.
movies.
Yeah, for sure.
I would show up. Yeah, tons of movies. So he's definitely one of those guys, like, not a leading man at all, but he's been in a little bit of everything. And there was a 2014 That Guy Dick Miller documentary about him, and he passed away in 2019, 90 years old. Rest in peace.
Yeah, everyone's dead in this fucking movie. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Sad thing about
He's
watching
great.
like these older ones.
This movie is very haunted.
Haunted, exactly. We got Will Patton. He's still alive. He plays Horst. I just want to mention him because it's Horst. You have to, if you're talking about After Hours, you have to mention Horst. Will Patton is most recently he was in Halloween, the movies, Halloween 1, Kills and Ends. He played like the sheriff, and I don't know, I loved him in those. He was in Desperately Seeking Susan, another yuppie nightmare movie we'll talk about briefly. He was in a ton of shit, Fourth Kind. He was in The Fourth Kind. I made fun of how bad his acting was in that.
He was also,
but he's great.
He was also, Remember the Titans? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was in The Postman.
Gone in 60 Seconds. I love that movie. I don't care if it sucks.
Yeah, like until I looked up the names of like the cast, I did not recognize him as Horst. Like he's just such a, I don't know, like he's such like an artsy freak in this movie. Like it does not look like he has eyeliner on.
Yeah, guyliner. He's also in the Horizon movies.
Yeah, he does not. That's not his typical characters,
Apparently, he narrates Train Dreams, which is up for an Oscar. That's interesting. He's been in Yellowstone, guys. He's been in Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone. Everyone knows what Yellowstone. All of our parents watch Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Lastly, as Adam, read me a bit about Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot as Lloyd. Up top, I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, he's best known for his role as Baki Bartokomous on the ABC sitcom Perfect Strangers from 1986 to 1993. Not a show I watched. However, it was a show that, because I was born in 1986, and I have very vague memories of, like, my parents watching this show and me being in the room while it was on. But movies that he was in Risky Business with Tom Cruise, Beverly Hills Cop with who is that guy? Who is that black man?
Eddie Murphy?
Edward Murphy. Yeah, he was in True Romance. I still need to see that. He was in the he was in the Langoliers as Craig Toomey. Now I haven't seen the Langoliers, but we watched what is that movie called, Dan?
The Timekeepers of Eternity.
Timekeepers of
2021.
Eternity.
That's how I know him. That's why I wanted to mention him.
Side note, because that's all this podcast is, he has worked extensively as an audiobook narrator with over 400 recordings as of 2024. You gotta love that. Like you're an old actor, and it's probably hard to find work, especially when you're just like a very
You were a small actor, yeah.
well, and when like your most famous role is from a TV show, I feel like it's hard to get work elsewhere.
From 40 years ago, yeah.
And I mean, it's probably so like comparatively, it's probably just a really good paycheck to have as like an audiobook narrator.
If I could do it, I would. So we're going to get into After Hours now, finally, folks. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Tim Burton was the second choice for director after the producer saw Vincent. So there's a whole story. Martin Scorsese looked at the script, said, I liked it, but he was filming Last Temptation of Christ. And so they offered it to Burton. Burton was like, let me do it. And then he basically heard from Griffin. Griffin called him and was like, hey, man, it's kind of funny, you know, the movie, Marty wants to make After Hours. Anyway, you want to talk about the script? And then he's like, wait, what? Martin wants to work on After Hours? I don't want to stand in the way of Martin Scorsese. I don't want to do anything like that. So he gracefully bowed out of the project, but this could have been directed by Tim Burton. But I think it's very interesting. Everybody respects him. Even back then, he was Mr. Movie. Mm-hmm. I did want to mention the Yuppie nightmare cycle. I'd be remiss not to mention it. That's what this is a part of. Reagan-era films that mix screwball comedy with film noir. It's the moment in the 80s Yuppie fantasy, or where the 80s Yuppie fantasy flips into the Yuppie punishment ritual. Paul is a yuppie who expects frictionless service everywhere he goes. Other movies in this cycle include Into the Night by John Landis. I watched a bit of that today with Michelle Pfeiffer and Jeff Goldblum. Not as good, but I could see. Then we got Desperately Seeking Susan, a movie I'd love to see. Blue Velvet apparently fits this. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just including it. Something Wild by Jonathan Demme, Blind Date from 1987, and Fatal Attraction from 1987, directed by Adrian Lin or Line, whatever. He also did Jacob's Ladder, we talked about. Have you seen any of those movies other than Blue Velvet?
I've just seen Blue Velvet. Have I seen Fatal Attraction? Hold up real quick. No, I'm thinking of Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which is okay.
So that's just, you know, some stuff to lube the runway here. Let's talk about After Hours. The actual plot, we start with Paul Hackett and he meets Marcy Franklin. That's our neo-noir element here. He meets a mysterious woman who leads him into a misadventure, misfortune. And it starts because he's reading what is he reading? He's reading Tropic Cancer by Henry Miller. You guys familiar with this book or no?
No,
I'm more familiar with the Panda Bear song.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's a bunch of movies called Tropic Cancer too. But it's a book about drifting through a city in a state of erotic confusion, alienation, and absurdity. I believe it was banned for obscenity at some point. Paul Hackett is basically a neutered Henry Miller protagonist who's too anxious to enjoy the chaos he's thrown into. During filming, Martin Scorsese told Griffin Dunne to refrain from sex and sleep during filming in order to get a more realistic feeling of paranoia.
Man, that would suck.
I think they got to...
Wow.
Like, I can't sleep and I can't have sex either. I guess I'll just do drugs.
I think they were all doing cocaine. This is the cocaine 80s, dude.
He does look a little coked out in this.
Everybody looks... Martin Scorsese was probably coked out during this. I thought it was really... I think there was even a fight at one point where Martin Scorsese's like, hey, I know you had sex.
No.
We see it in your eyes. And they got no fight on set about it.
Martin Scorsese leans in close. He's like, I can smell it on your upper lip.
I can see it on your face. So he meets this quirky stranger. She comments on the book and is like, hey, I love this book. And you can tell she knows what it is because she quotes it directly, which I thought was interesting. And she's like this dream girl. Do you guys think Paul is reading this book performatively? He makes a comment and he says, oh, I'm just rereading it.
I don't know. He seems like, because even what I notice, he doesn't look up right away when she comments on it. So it does seem like he's pretty, he's pretty into the book. He probably read to the end of a paragraph before looking up from it, so he didn't lose his place. I don't. But that's interesting. Yeah, is he reading it I guess you could say who reads a book in a diner, but I mean it is the 80s. You don't have a cell phone, so if you need to have something in your hands distracting you, you would have a book or a newspaper.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So you think that's a modern day lens looking back? Okay. And then, she's like, hey, I got this friend who's making plaster of Paris, bagel and cream cheese paperweights. Do you want to buy some? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. And he takes her number. She leaves. 'Cause she's like, I gotta go hang out with a friend. And he immediately goes home and he calls her. It's the first thing he does. He's like, hey, he calls Kiki. He's like, hey, I'm here for the plaster of Paris paperweights. And she's like, who are you? He's like, Marcy told me about it. And then he's like, she immediately gets Marcy on the phone. And she's like, I'm glad you called, Paul. She invites him over. And this starts the night. He takes a taxi over. He only brings $20 with him. I didn't do the math, but $20 is the equivalent of $57 in 2023. So maybe, I don't know, 60 something now.
Damn.
It's a lot of money. It's a decent amount of money to have in your pocket. And, he expects that to last him the whole night. But it doesn't last him the whole night, does it?
Nope.
Yeah, like I even like wonder. I'm like, why did he put the money there? The camera
I don't know.
wasn't even over.
Why's he? Yeah, put it in his pocket. This guy or wallet. This guy's crazy.
Flies out the window. And we get I guess there's a thing in the 80s where at some point in like 85 or whatever, all the taxi cab drivers got replaced by a certain type of taxi cab driver where they just flew down the street. So that was like an actual thing people like could relate to. So they shoot it on like high frame stock, so they just speed it up really quickly. I don't know. I've never taken a taxi. I've taken Ubers, but
which
what an idiot. Yeah,
I like that way of filming too. They do that in Eddington at some point when like Sheriff Joe is getting chased, and I think it really like maybe like it in certain cases like it doesn't work out because it just looks cheap. But I think like in this movie specifically too, it looks real good because it looks frenetic, it looks chaotic, and you're just like, oh man, I am like, you're in for like you're in for a wild ride.
I just can't believe he lost his money. That was the first scene shot in the film, by the way, is where he's seen entering the cab. First scene they shot. Wasn't shot chronologically or anything, but interesting to note. In the apartment, Kiki is working on a large papier-mâché sculpture. I guess we should mention she throws the keys down. This is a huge point they talk about in all the behind-the-scenes features, is they dropped a camera down like a plywood thing with a hole in it towards Griffin Dunne. And they're like, we can't do that again because the rope started like smoking. Like everyone immediately stopped after that first take and we're like, we cannot do that again. And Griffin was like, no, man, I got one more take in me. And they're like, dude, no, you don't understand. You almost died just now. And I don't know. That shot's pretty cool. If you notice, there's like, I don't know, like 10 different, there's a lot. There's like 10 different cuts just in that drop shot. But it was really important. And I was telling Adam a story how Martin Scorsese like prostrated himself over the edit and everything, and like he worked on it the longest. It was the first thing they edited and it was the last thing they edited. And years later, he's looking back on it. He's like, I just watched it a few weeks ago and it's still not right. I was like, oh my God. But he gets in there. So he crosses the threshold. He agrees he's going to go talk to Marcy. But Marcy's not there, right? Marcy's gone. So he hangs out with Kiki Bridges, who's putting this paper mache thing together and the sculpture. And there's a lot of weird sexual tension between her and Paul. I did think it was strange that she implies that Marcy has scars all over her body in retrospect.
Yeah, like he even like hints at like he even drops like that he was at a burn ward when he was younger. And then he kind of looks like her skirt is pulled up a little bit, and he sees like, and I even like what I thought, I was like, oh man, that looks like she has some nasty scars down there. And he finds like the book, like I think you mentioned the book of like burn victims and like treating or like rehabilitation of burn victims.
Yeah, and she has there's some medicine, right? And I think even Kiki says something. Kiki like kind of says something before that when it's just them. Says something about she's like, oh, no scars, like what is it?
I know some girls who are covered in scars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because spoiler warning zone, guys. If you don't want spoilers, leave the podcast now. She doesn't have any scars, so kind of weird. But she falls asleep half naked on the couch next to him in his arms, and then Marcy shows up and he's just like, what? She even asks him, she's like, what did you do to her? I was like, oh my God. She's very erratic, right? Like it seems very unstable, her situation, and we find out more and more about her. She's married. She has a boyfriend who owns this apartment. I think Kiki's just staying with her, and that's why she's trying to sell the paper mache thing. She's like, it's the only way I can get her out of my apartment. And she tells a story about how she was sexually assaulted by one of her boyfriends who climbed up the fire escape. It's pretty tragic stuff. It's pretty like scary for Paul to. He's just trying to get his dick wet, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, her character definitely seems like you're not sure like what she's saying is true or not, you know, because there's like so many like weird different stories.
Yeah, it's very strange, and it reminds me of my own like this fierce flash in the pan romance with Marcy reminds me of my own experience with a unstable relationship when I was about 19 or 20 with a young woman. Paul meets this woman. He's young. He's inexperienced. He's trying to be decent. Her life is more chaotic than he can handle. He wants this connection, but he doesn't know how to navigate any of it. And he's suddenly responsible for these things he never asked to be. He's terrified of doing the wrong thing, and he's overwhelmed by this whole situation. And again, that's not why he's out here, and it's so strange. It's a strange contrast, but that's what it reminds me of is some relationships I've been in. Just this weird like. But he doesn't learn anything. I had a fun note here. This movie feels like they trapped a guy in a metaphysical pinball machine. Like, let's see what happens. He's a cosmic chew toy. So is Rupert Pupkin. That's why King Comedy is pretty similar to this. You seen that one, Tyler?
No, I'll have to check that out next.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. For show, dog. I don't know. She ends up like. What even happens? He gets like overwhelmed, doesn't he? Well, they leave at one point and they go to like I don't know why. I don't really know the turn of events here. Cause like don't they leave and go to the diner and they meet Dick Miller and they have coffee and then they're like, we're leaving again. We're going back to Kiki's apartment.
I think it seems like he's kind of like trying to make a move, but then she says something about like, you know, she's like, I just want to talk, you know. She's like, can we go get a coffee? And then they go to the diner.
They talk about the husband who says, surrender Dorothy.
Surrender Dorothy.
Yeah. Yeah, she tells him about how she's married. I think the husband owns that apartment, right? The big loft. Yeah. But then very short. I mean, they're not there that long. And then she kind of like, you know, puts her hand on his hand and he's like, check, please.
Yeah. He keeps, please. That's like his approval. He's like, okay, I'll go through with it. I just need this little bit of return. Even though she's telling me this crazy fucked up thing that I should just like leave immediately. Just cause she touches my hand, I'm like, okay, I might still get laid. But he goes back to the apartment. It doesn't last long though, because he freaks the fuck out. They smoke a joint. He's like, this isn't real weed. Whoever sold it to you is fucking lying, and you're a liar too. Yeah. And he's like, go get me the paper mache cream. I came here for the paper mache cream cheese bagel things. It's like, and that's what I want to see right now. Go get it. And he makes her leave. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And you hear like this frantic crying in the other room. I don't know if Horst is there already. He might be. But they're just like, what did I do? I don't know what I did wrong. And then he just fucking books it. He leaves. And he ends up at, well, I guess he just tries to get home, right? He tries to go on the subway. And I love the scene where he talks to that guy in the booth. And he's like, I want to get home. Just let me go home. And they're like, sorry, the fares went up. No, I can't let you go. He's like, why can't you just let me go, man? I just want to go home. He's like, I don't know. I might get drunk, go to a party, tell somebody.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
I might get fired. And he tries to jump it.
Yeah, I love like the fare triples overnight. You know, that is kind of crazy.
And he doesn't have enough. It reminds me of the scene in Sorry to Bother You when he's trying to like, get his gas. He's like, 15 on the, it's like 15 cents on 3 or whatever. Or reminds me of Bubble Boy too. A lot of scenes like this. But I love that he tries to jump over the thing and the police like try to stop him immediately. And he's like, oh, I wasn't actually trying to do that. I'm just trying to get home. I'm a decent person. And he goes to a bar. That's, I think, where we go to Terminal Bar. That's where we meet Tom, and we also meet the waitress played by Terry Garr. It's a very weird vibe, right? He sits down. He's like, "Can I just sit here? I have no money. Can I just sit here for a little while?" And she's like, "Okay." He goes to the bathroom. He comes back out, and there's a little note from Terry Gar on the table, and it says, "He's like, help me. I'm miserable or something."
Yeah, I hate this job.
Yeah, I hate this job. Save me. And then he goes over to talk to Tom, which is John Hurd, and he's really nice. Like, he appears really awesome. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I'll pay for your fare. I'll get you out of here." And he tries to get the cash register open, and when it doesn't open, he just freaks the fuck out and starts banging on it and freaking out. So you can tell he has like a lot of rage issues. And I love Tom the bartender. They agree. He's like, "Hey man, there's been a lot of break-ins recently. Can you go lock up my apartment and get the key for the register?" He's like, "Yeah man, I'll go do that." And he gives him his keys as like a safeguard. Like, "Hey, we'll trade keys and I'll have to come back for these." And I love the shot of the keys. It's very intentional. Is the skull on the keys over and over again. I would love those keys.
Yeah, it's like a Papa Legba something.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like it's like a hoodoo, like Arbinger of Death or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, it's he goes up, and I just love how it's like a nightmare scenario. It's like for an anxious person. That's why I compare it to like Uncut Gems and all this. Is it's like that kind of movie where it's like if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. It's like what is that phrase called? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law. That's what this guy's life is the entire night. Like, he goes to flush Tom's toilet for some reason, and it just overflows and floods the floor immediately. Like, he can't do anything. And like everyone there is like freaking out about the break-ins. So you just have these people like roving gangs being like, "Hey, what are you doing here, buddy?" And that starts a whole thing for the night where he's getting chased around and being accused of like being a criminal that steals shit, a burglar. And he goes down, and Tom has closed up the bar.
Yeah, there's like a little...
So what happens? What is it? No. What happens? He gets distracted, right? Because he goes down and he sees Cheech and Chong, Pepe and whoever, and they drop the sculpture, and it's Kiki's sculpture. And he's like, "Hey, man." And then he ends up going back to the apartment. And he's like, "Hey, guys, what's up?" And he finds Marcy's dead body. So, yeah. This is when the movie gets dark. She committed suicide.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I kept on thinking, oh, no, maybe she actually isn't dead. But no, she's gone. I'm like, no, please don't kill yourself. You're too beautiful.
Again, worst case scenario, you're on this awful date and you're like, "Let me get the fuck out of here." And then she literally kills herself. Like, the worst case scenario.
Yeah, nightmare scenario.
And I love how he calls the police and then he puts fucking like signs up and it says dead person with like an arrow. Not even like dead. I don't know. It just seems so impersonal. Dead person. And I don't know. I think, do you guys like Paul? Like I've heard, I don't think he's very likable, right?
I mean, no. I mean, he's relatable in some ways. You know, it's like relatable how he like, to some of these situations he reacts. I mean, that is pretty harsh. Like you said, just like putting the sign there, like, you know, even though he didn't really know this woman that well, like he's kind of just like, all right, I need to get home. You know, I'm not going to stick around for this. So yeah, he's a very, he's a little questionable.
Marcy says her husband was obsessed with the Wizard of Oz. In this, Paul spends most of his time in the movie wanting nothing more than to get back home like Dorothy did. And Marcy dies from an overdose of Seconal, the same as Judy Garland did in real life.
Oh.
Is that intentional? Yeah, I don't know. It's really sad. It brings a really the dark part to this black comedy. So he goes back down to the bar, right? He's like, "Let me get my keys and go home now. This is fucked up." And Tom the bartender's gone. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he meets up with Terry Gar. Terry Gar brings her back to her apartment, and she's like living in the 60s, right? What should be noted, she actually did star in a movie with the monkeys at one point in real life. And she has like Aquanet. I think she has like a whole like a shelf of Aquanet in the apartment, and they have the mouse traps around the bed, like all this weird psychosexual shit. I thought that was really, really, really fun scene. And I like how she reacts to Paul, like, right? Because he says like, "Gee whiz," She's like, what's wrong with people today? You can't say anything. People think you're cringe. I related to that. Because she's calling out some stuff that are very related to now. Whatever. She's like, he leaves her. He's like, I have to go back to the bar because he's back and I need to get my keys. He goes and I don't know. This thing is not. There's a lot of things that happen, but he goes back to the bar and It turns out that Tom, the bartender's girlfriend, had just killed herself, and her name was Marcy, right? So Tom, the bartender, is Marcy's boyfriend.
Yeah, she is married, and she also has a boyfriend, and yeah, that's where he finds out that that's Marcy is the same Marcy.
I love the leather daddies that are making out in that scene, and they just look over like, "Hey, man, are you okay? It's not your fault."
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes back to the apartment, I guess, at some point. I don't know. He tries to go to Club Berlin to track down Kiki and Horst. And he gets chased by... I love that whole scene, and it should be noted, it's like from like a philosophical novel, their entire conversation he has with the bouncer, who's like, if you really want it, you could push past me. He's like, I'll take your money. I don't want you to think you tried everything. He's like, it's Mohawk night. You can get in if you had a Mohawk. And they let him in, and then they have to give him a mohawk, right? So, no. I do like that they shave a chunk of his hair off. That's pretty cool. And then he gets his $20 bills off the sculpture or whatever. He encounters a taxi driver again, and he robs him. He takes his only 20 he has, so he still can't get home. And he runs into Gail. Finally, Catherine O'Hara's character. She's crazy, off the wall too, runs a Mr. Softy truck, and she offers to help him. I hate the scene where she's on the phone. I love it, but it's like horrible, where he's trying to like dial someone, and she just keeps reading numbers when he's trying to get the number from the operator. Like, she just keeps fucking up. She's like, 2, 5, 6, 8. He's like, fucking stop it.
Yeah, like with the way that Terry Garr was like constantly flirting with him, I thought that we were going to see that same like vibe going on between him and Catherine O'Hara, and then like, it's totally not. She's like a complete troll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she Terry Garr, we should mention, he abandons her at one point. She kind of starts. She's a sketch artist. She sketches him, and now there's posters all up the neighborhood accusing him of being the burglar, and everyone's looking for him based on this sketch. She sees the thing and she stops, and she's like, oh. She rings her whistle or what, blows her whistle, and everyone comes running in, and they're like, we have to get him. And now he's being chased by a mob. And there's like stories he's reading at one point on a newspaper thing that's like, mob burns, destroys, and rips man limb from limb. He's like, oh my God. Yeah. It's like the nightmare paranoid shit. That's really great. And there's the whole scene where he kind of propositions a guy for gay sex unknowingly, which is pretty great. I thought that was like super funny. Not much to say there, but he calls police, but it gets ignored. I don't remember that. He finally goes into Club Berlin, and it's completely empty now. And he runs into June is her name, I think, the old lady. And he has this whole conversation with her. He's just like, I just want connection. I just want to feel this. And he dances with her to Peggy Lee's Is That All There Is? One of my favorite songs, honestly. I was in the Beach Bum, got me through a very turbulent moment in my life last year. And it's interesting, it pops up here. Super interesting. And he spends his last quarter to play that song. What do you guys think about this scene?
Well, yeah, I immediately recognized that song. Did you say what movie it was from? My ADHD was acting up.
The Beach Bum.
Yeah, the Beach. As soon as it started playing, I was like, hey, the Beach Bum. I remember that. And yeah.
Love all the doo-wop in here too. I've been playing that all week. Her goal or her solution is, hey, we're going to disguise you as a sculpture. This is where I want to mention something really interesting about the ending here. So Martin Scorsese could not figure out a suitable ending for the film. He asked Brian De Palma, Steven Spielberg, Terry Gilliam to watch the film so they give their opinion. None of them could really give him one. Test audiences rejected an alternate ending in which Paul remains trapped in the papier-mâché statue. British director Michael Powell was around quite a lot during the filming. He later married Thelma Schoonmaker. Nobody was sure how the film should end. Michael Powell said he must finish up back at work, but this was initially dismissed as too unlikely and difficult. They tried many other endings. A few were even filmed, but the only one that everyone felt really worked here was to have Paul finish up back at work just as a new day was starting. Many ideas were considered for the film's ending. One idea that made it to the storyboard stage had Paul crawling into June's womb to hide from the angry mob, with June giving birth to him on the West Side Highway.
What?
They had a whole storyboard for this. He's like, get in here. She like spreads her legs. I saw this. And Paul's just like, what? I can see why they didn't go with that. I think it would have been very interesting, for sure. It would have stretched this into the more surreal zone, but I just thought it was an interesting note. Like, can you imagine that was the ending of this movie?
Yeah, that would have kind of, I mean, this is, there's definitely nothing supernatural or, unrealistic about this movie, so that would be kind of weird.
And I guess the two thieves break in, because she doesn't let him out, which is crazy. You think maybe he's trapped in there forever. You don't know how this is going to end. But Pepe and Neil come in and steal him. You're like, oh, it's another statue. Like they're the burglars the whole time, which I think is hilarious. It's just Cheech and Chong in the background causing all this shit. And they grab him, and he tumbles out of the back when they're driving really quickly, and he falls out. It busts open. He's covered in all this like paper mache, like dust and shit. And he walks in. It's his office building. He sits down at the desk, and it says, "Welcome, David," or Paul, and it's a whole new day. Dazed, he staggers inside, sits at his desk, and stares at the computer terminal as it boots up to greet him for another day of work. I guess I'll ask you here. We'll give our recommendations and stuff. Tyler, what did you think about After Hours? Overall, what is your opinion on this? How do you feel about it?
Overall, I love this. I thought it was funny that you had picked this one because I was on Netflix a few weeks ago and I saw that it was on there and I was like, oh, this is I don't know if I had heard about this before. I probably had seen the title in passing, and then I found out it was a Martin Scorsese movie. I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. And then you brought up that it was going to pod. So, the night that you said that, I was like, oh, all right, well, I'm gonna throw this on. And I love this movie. It was just a lot of fun. It really encapsulates like the feel of movies in the 80s. And I don't think I've watched a movie from that time period in a while. So it was a nice little return. I think early on I was saying like I hadn't really seen much by where Griffin Dunne and Rosanna Arquette star in it. So it was a nice little, going to a different section of movies that I wasn't really aware of. Although it's like outside of them, I had seen most of these actors in something. So it is funny that all the supporting cast is, very well known for me. But yeah, this is great all around. As we said, it's a very early, or it's like right in the time of the yuppie nightmare cycle. And something that kind of gets revisited later on in film. So I definitely had a lot of fun with this.
Would you put it in your top 5, top 10? Where's this one sit?
I don't know. Maybe I'd probably have to give it another rewatch. I had to watch it in like 2 settings. If I give it another rewatch, I could maybe put it pretty high up, at least top 20 for Scorsese. Hard to say. It's so different for a Scorsese film, like this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not your typical.
Yeah, his films, they're not super serious because you watch even Goodfellas, Casino, there's humor in it. There's a little wackiness here and there. But this is for one to be like a straight up comedy, like a black comedy. It's very rare for him. So, it's hard to rate. I definitely have to sit down and do some thinking, because it's just so different from the rest of his movies.
You'd recommend it though, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think it's something, that anybody really can enjoy. It's not like very niche. It's not like off-putting or anything. It's just, it's a fun movie. So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
And I think it's funny you say that because it's like, you haven't seen King of Comedy yet. So there's this whole structure of movies where he was doing things a little differently, and maybe that's why I connect with it. But again, I've only seen 25% of this movies. I don't know. Adam, your turn, buddy. Do you recommend the movie? How do you feel about the movie?
Yeah, I totally recommend this one, man. Like, I wasn't ready for how funny this particular Scorsese film was going to be. You know, I think that, yeah, you watch like his machismo movies, you watch things like Goodfellas, Casino, you get wrapped up in like, and you think that's who Scorsese is. And you forget that oftentimes like movies he talks about loving are like black and white comedy films. I know at least a few of them. And like, this movie's just up there. Like there's so many fun things he does with the camera where I'm just like, yay, you know me, Dan, I love camera work. I should probably learn like the technical names for all this stuff that they're doing, huh? If I really love it, I would become one of those cinema guys where I'm like, oh, and this is when the camera executes a blah, blah, blah. But in the words of my grandfather, this was a good little old movie, and I would recommend this to anybody. You know, you're
top 10,
in,
top 20?
Top 10, top 20. I mean, I'll put it in my top 20. Like Tyler said, I would probably want to give it a rewatch. So and then I can decide if it's maybe it would get bumped up there a bit. I mean, it's a contender for top 10 for sure.
We've already brought up Good Time, Uncut Gems, Marty Supreme to an extent. What other movies does After Hours remind you of? Do you guys have any?
Besides saying the one I said earlier, Vampire's Kiss by the same screenwriter. Hard to say.
We watched one of them on the show, Adam.
Don't tell me things like that. What did
the
we
King of Comedy.
King of Comedy. Don't. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. I love this movie, obviously. I recommend it wholeheartedly. It's one of my favorites by him that I've seen so far. I like this over all of his other ones, but, you know, I'll have to watch more of them. I do want to hit up a couple of trivia notes here before we go. Important to note, folks. When Paul is being reprimanded by the police officer on the subway, off camera, he says, there's an ADR line, must be a full moon tonight. An obvious reference to American Werewolf in London. I should mention here the conversation between Paul and the bouncer at Club Berlin is mostly from Franz Kafka's Before the Law. Apparently this movie is very Kafka-esque. I don't know what that means. Sorry. And my last thought, this is about the Peggy Lee song. I said, life is absurd, a cosmic joke. Nothing means anything, so why not keep going? That's what that song means to me. And having just watched Eraserhead, the surreal elements, a scene we didn't talk about, the scene where Paul witnesses a woman shooting, presumably her husband, to death in their apartment, reminds me of the deleted scene from Eraserhead where Henry sees a man electrocuting two women in bed with a car battery. On Reddit, someone described After Hours as Martin Scorsese's take on a David Lynch movie. Yeah, I don't know. That scene's so funny to me because he sees the woman like shoot her husband. He looks over. He's like hiding on like a whatever you call a scaffold. I don't know what you call those. And he looks over and he sees a woman shooting her husband. He's like, I'm probably gonna get blamed for that too.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, there's so much wacky shit that goes on in this.
It's just every turn he's just like, fuck, I'm just trying to get home. But that's it. That's After Hours, folks. I love this movie. It's obviously underseen. I'd say underrated. A lot of people don't even know this movie exists. So check it out. I recommend it wholeheartedly. I already made my comparisons on Uncut Gems, Marty Supreme, Good Time. If you like those, you're going to like this. Adam, did you pick a movie for next week, bud?
Hey.
I did, Dan. And of course, like always, I'm sitting here looking at 3 different tabs open, but I think I've made my decision. I've been on a certain reading kick of a certain author, so I want to watch. This is kind of like a new. We've added a new series to the podcast now, but this is like adaptation wise. I've been reading Chuck Palahniuk a lot lately, so I'm gonna watch. We're gonna watch. You're gonna watch it with me. 1999's Fight Club. Speaking of watching main characters crashing out.
We need to tell the Honorable Mr. Jason about this one.
Oh yeah, he's a big Fight Club guy.
He's got a whole shelf of Palahniuk books, dude.
Oh,
like
man.
A big shelf. I was like, what the fuck? Does he even write that many books? Apparently.
Yeah. I just finished his book, Palahniuk's book, Pygmy, which it needs its own movie. Hopefully, I think they've only like adapted 2 of his books, but
Choke is one of them, right?
yeah, we'll be doing that at some point.
All right. Well, that's a good one. I have not seen Fight Club since I was a young boy, teenager probably. So this will be a good pick. What is it? I Am Robert Paulson, was it?
His name is Robert Paulson.
And Death.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Members of Project Mayhem have a name.
Yeah, this week at work, this one guy kept calling me Tyler Durden. So very good.
Yeah, Tyler Durden. This is a classic, man. Holy shit. Yeah, I haven't seen this in a while. It's a good pick, Adam. So
Yeah, I wonder-
looking forward to it. Join us next week.
I wonder if we can watch it without, because it's been so memeified. Are we going to be able to watch it without that lens?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
because at this
see.
point, it's like everybody has seen Fight Club.
We're pretty far removed from it, though. This is a podcast, all right? So we're going to review this in a post narrative way. I don't know. But looking forward to it. My friend Skylar introduced me to this movie when I was in high school. And he, when you go over to you remember in high school, you go over to your friend's house, you stay the night, you play video games, you eat junk food and whatever. The mom comes in the next day, it smells like shit in here.
Yeah, Fight Club is peak high school movie. I mean, I had older brothers, so I watched it like at 11 or 12. But I know for sure I revisited it in high school with some friends.
Yeah, well, you can revisit it and also listen. So revisit it, Tyler. Give it a shot.
Have to watch it again. Yeah, I think we have it on DVD. Me and Lauren.
Nice.
Oh, that's perfect format for it. It's a prime DVD movie. All right, that's it, guys. That's it. Tyler, do you have anything going on? Anything to promote? You want to promote the EP again? New EP?
Yeah, in case you got some new listeners, I have a band, the Deaf Cats. We record some music here and there. We are on
what kind of music
all
is it?
streaming platforms. I'll just call it indie rock, I guess. That'd be the best fit.
Kick-ass indie rock?
Yeah. And next weekend I'm getting, Adam here just found out he's having a baby girl. Next weekend I'm getting married. So we got big things going on in the Brewer family here. Yeah.
It's going to be a big week for you, bud.
They're also going to have a gender reveal. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tyler's going to reveal his gender at the wedding.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. That's awesome, Tyler. I'm so glad you guys are finally getting married. Your wife's awesome.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah. We're doing a little casual thing, just family down in Tucson. So should be fun. I'm excited. Nervous as well.
Yeah. Probably expensive too. Don't think about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, we kept it pretty casual, but we did splurge on a photographer, and that's really the main thing.
Yeah, you got to. You got to at least get the photography. You got to get the wedding photos, man. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you download those. They're going to give you a link. Make sure you download everything and back it up.
Yeah.
I lost all my wedding photos a couple times that way. I was like, oh. All right. Well, check out Tyler. We'll include the link in the description for his Letterboxd and for the Death Cats. Check it out, folks. And Adam, do you have any words of wisdom for our wonderful listeners that have stuck around for almost 2 hours?
Could we have the check? It's on the house. Really? Sure. What the hell? Different rules apply when it gets late. You know what I mean? It's like after hours.
That's our show. Good night, everybody. Jazz aliens? Yo, we from the planet Jazz. We're here to take over your honky asses, including you, host of the show.
Jazz alien Quano Mono invented the Big Five sound.
Yo, we're taking you to hell. You could be in hell, bitch.
White monkey.
All right. Stop recording.